Have you ever wondered why you struggle to stay consistent, you keep skipping workouts, and falling back into the same old bullshit habit patterns? It's because you don't know how to separate the flesh from the spirit. But once you align with the spirit, that's where you're going to find your consistency, your discipline, and start getting real results. So once you hire God as your personal trainer, you're going to get to 9-10% body fat. You're going to feel more clarity and purpose driven as a man. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you why your flesh has been holding you back and how you can align with the spirit to start getting some real results. When I didn't have God in my life, I was in way worse shape. I had no clarity about what I should do with my life. My purpose was very unclear. My energy levels sucked. I felt very bad every day. When I looked in the mirror, I was unpleased with my physique. I was unpleased with who I was as a man, and I just felt lost in life. But once I hired God as my personal trainer, not only did I get to 9% body fat, but my energy levels went up, my mental clarity went up. Every single day I know that I'm aligned with my purpose because I'm aligned with the spirit. So what we have to identify here is the war within that we fight every single day as men. And as I go through this, you're going to understand that this is going to sound very familiar to you. We fight versus the flesh and the spirit every single day. And in order for us to make progress, feel purpose-driven, feel clarity, and align with God, we need to know the difference. So that's exactly what I'm about to break down for you. Because in Matthew 26:41, it's going to say, "Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." Our flesh is very weak, but let's identify what the flesh and the spirit even is, okay? The flesh. The flesh is going to be your cravings, your laziness, and your bad eating. But the spirit is going to be your discipline, your clarity, and your consistency. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. The flesh, when you're giving into the flesh as I was, you're going to feel like you're drowning, like the walls are caving in on you, like nothing you're doing, even though you're showing up, is working. Like you can't make progress no matter how hard you try. And you could feel very alone. You could feel very anxious when you're giving into the flesh. But once you call for the spirit and align yourself with the spirit, it literally feels like God's reaching his hand out to you and saying, "Stop worrying, I'm going to show you the path." And this makes you feel whole, makes you feel fulfilled. All your anxiety goes away. You start to feel like you're making progress every single day because you know God is on your side. So there's a very big difference between the two. So if you're feeling like I was here, like you're drowning, that's a direct sign that you've been aligned with the flesh and you need to align with the spirit. So as you can see here, my habits when I was aligned with the flesh were really bad. I was drinking alcohol, vaping, smoking weed. My eating habits were absolutely shot. This is like a typical lunch for me. Eating like a bacon sandwich with all these sauces on it. Absolutely horrible. Eating protein waffles and sugar-free syrup with aspartame. All this seed oil garbage that was wrecking my health and wrecking my gut. And as you can see here, eating rice cakes with glyphosate, peanut butter, which was destroying my gut, processed ham, pasteurized dairy, all these things that were just wrecking my gut. So my habits and my nutrition weren't dialed in because I was doing what I felt like doing in the moment instead of what I knew I needed to do. So my purpose was very unclear here, and all my habits and nutrition decisions were only doubling down on that. But as you can see here, when I aligned with the spirit, when I started going to church every Sunday, reading the Bible every single day, praying twice a day, I started to get very clear about what my purpose was because I started to hear the voice of God, and I relinquished all my stress, anxiety, and worry to him, and he guided me to start making better decisions, such as cleaning up my gut health, eating, pasteurized eggs here, not pasteurized, pasture-raised eggs here with some watermelon. Here's my ground beef bowl and my, grocery haul optimizing gut health and metabolism, which made me feel more healthy, energy driven, gave me more clarity so that I could align even further with God. So when you align with God, he's going to clean up your habits and clean up your nutrition to align with your real purpose in life. So if your life is looking like this right now, even more deeper signs that you're aligned with the flesh. But once you're doing these things and you're aligned with the spirit, you're going to start to make crazy progress and feel amazing every single day. So let's talk about how to align thoughts and actions with the spirit to make progress, align with your purpose, and actually get better results. Because you're probably sitting there saying, "Devin, okay, I see what you're saying, But how do I align with the Spirit? I'm going to break it down for you right now. This is exactly how to do it. It's a 3-step process. Very simple. Okay, this is a practical step-by-step process of how you can align with the Spirit every single day. So the first thing you're going to do is identify the source. Okay, ask yourself, where is this coming from, my flesh or my spirit? So when you have a thought or you want to take part in an action, you need to ask yourself the question, where is this coming from? Is this my flesh or is this my spirit? So here's some examples of some flesh-driven thoughts or actions. Skip the workout. You're too tired. Eat the junk food. It's easier. Scroll Instagram. You've earned it. These are little thoughts that you will have when you're aligned with the flesh. And a way to identify that is look for the pattern. If you find yourself constantly looking for short-term comfort, not feeling disciplined, feeling lack of purpose, that is a sign that your thought patterns are aligned with the flesh. However, spirit-driven thoughts and actions usually sound like this. Push through it. It builds discipline. Fuel your body with what it needs, not what it craves. Focus on your purpose, not distractions. So the pattern that you'll find when you're aligned with the Spirit is long-term growth, discipline, and alignment with purpose. So when you're typically delaying the pleasure for something greater, you're in line with the Spirit. But when you're giving into what feels good in that moment, that's when you're aligned with the flesh and you're going to feel the least purpose, the least discipline, and the least confident in yourself. So the very first step, identify the source. Once you've identified where the thought is coming from, whether it is the Spirit or whether it is the flesh, you move on to step 2. Filter through God's standard. How do you do this? Before acting, okay, run it through this filter. So before you take any action, this is the filter you need to run what you're about to do through. Does this build discipline or does this destroy it? Does this align with my God-given purpose or does it distract from it? Would I be proud to stand before God with the choice that I am about to make? When you start asking yourself these questions, it's almost impossible for you not to align with the Spirit. And like I said, the more you're aligned with the Spirit, the more progress you'll see, and the more you're going to feel aligned with that purpose that God has given you. So if the answer leans towards comfort, laziness, or distraction, that is your flesh speaking. But if it leads towards discipline, growth, or clarity, that is your spirit. So this is how we're identifying which is which. Now the last step. Redirect to the Spirit. If you recognize that your thought or your action is about to be a flesh-driven thought or action, you don't just reject it. You replace it. So pray, God, give me the strength to choose the Spirit right now. You can always ask God for help and He will help you. So instead of giving into the temptation, whether it's a bad food, whether it's pornography, whatever it is, go to your knees, pray to God for the strength that you need to get through that moment. Then reframe the thought. Turn, I don't feel like training into, this training is how I crucify the flesh and strengthen the Spirit. You have to be strong in your faith and trust that God is guiding you in the right direction. So always turn to Him. You can reframe any thought and align it with the Spirit, but you have to first identify it, and that's why step 1 and 2 are so important. And then act in faith. Take the action your Spirit calls for, even when the flesh resists it. Your flesh is very weak. We want to give into temptation. We want to do what's easy. This is how our flesh is naturally built. But when you understand the difference, understand this is just the flesh, then you can make the right decision. So instead of just taking immediate action, actually run everything you do through this filter and you'll make way more progress. So let me give you an example of like a flow, like how this can actually go down in real life. This is what it might look like. Here's the thought. I'm craving pizza late at night. Okay, it's 10 p.m. and you're craving a sausage pepperoni pie. What do you do? What do you do? Think about it. What do you do? Step 1, define. Is this the flesh or is this the Spirit? Once you identify this is the flesh, how do I know? Because it's going to give me short-term comfort and it has no alignment with discipline and it's not in alignment with my goals. So now you've identified this thought is simply my flesh. What do you do next? Step 2, ask, does this align with my goals? Does this glorify God's temple, which is my body? You'll find the answer is no. So now what? Step 3, replace with a spirit action. So prepare a clean, high-protein meal, then pray for strength to stay consistent. Ask God for help. The same way you would go to a personal trainer and say, what do I do with this workout? What do I do here? You need to rely on God and talk to him more, pray to him more, ask him questions the same way you would ask your coach. He will give you the answer every single time. Your gut feeling and internal nudges are the voice of God. So utilize him, lean on him. This is what he wants from you. So replace that flesh thought with a spiritual action, okay? Pray for consistency. I'm going to give you 2 Bible verses that will make this make a little more sense. I don't really know how to say this. I think it's Galatians, I don't really know how to say it. But the point is, for the flesh desires what is contrary to the spirit, and the spirit what is contrary to the flesh. They are in conflict with each other. Every single day, we are at war. You've heard so many guys say, oh, me versus me, war with myself. It's really this. It's the spirit versus the flesh. That's the war we face every day. Because your flesh is weak. It wants to give in to the temptation, but your spirit needs to be strong. Romans 8:5-6. Those who live according to the flesh have their mind set on what the flesh desires, but those who live in accordance with the Spirit have their mind set on what the Spirit desires. So once you identify whether or not that thought is flesh or spirit, you get to take control over it and make the right decisions about how to align with your goals and be aligned with the Spirit. So let's talk about how to build the Spirit, because the Spirit needs to be strong so it can override the flesh in every decision that you make. So let's talk about how to actually build it. The Bible builds the Spirit defines your habits define your results. So really what we're after here is getting better results. So we need to reverse engineer and start with something as simple as the Bible. Studying the Word will lead to a stronger mindset. The Bible will give you wisdom. It will give you strength. It's literally the best self-development book in the world. Stronger mindset leads to stronger discipline in the gym and stronger discipline with your eating choices. Then that discipline is going to lead to the shredded physique that you're after and the clarity of purpose that you're after. It's one leads to the other. But this also works in reverse. If you give into the flesh, it's going to lead to you being out of shape, feeling disaligned from your purpose and clarity. So study the Word. Study the Word. Read the Word every day. Set aside some time. The closer you get to God, the easier it's going to become to actually get in shape. So here's a daily protocol of how you can get closer to God, build that spirit, get stronger, so that you can stay in alignment with your purpose and with your goals. It's simple. It's really simple. Don't overcomplicate this. Simply read the Bible and pray, right? When you read the Bible, go slow. Go slow. Even if you read one page in 30 minutes, that's fine. Because the intention when you read the Bible, the mindset you need going into it is, God, what are you trying to teach me in here? And a lot of times in the Bible, like I struggle with this often, is that the wording is a little outdated. It's a little hard to understand. So sometimes I'll spend 20, 30 minutes on one page because it's not just like a book. I'm trying to get through it. I'm trying to understand it. This is how God actually speaks to you. And then ask yourself, how can I live by this word today? And the more you live in alignment with the Word, the closer you live in alignment with God, the stronger your spirit gets, the better results you're going to get in every area of your life, the more clarity and energy and purpose-driven you're going to be. And then pray. Pray for the strength to overcome the cravings. Ask God, lean on Him, think of Him. He's your trainer. When you're feeling weak, you don't want to do that last rep in the gym, talk to God. When you want to give into those cravings, talk to God. You are not alone. You have God at all times. He will help you reach your desired outcome because the intention He put on your heart to be greater, the potential that He gave it to you for a reason, and He wants you to see it out. So lean on Him, rely on Him, pray for clarity and purpose, and pray for discipline in training, eating, and recovery. Ask God for help, and I promise He will help you. Look, if you've been stuck with no structure, no clarity, and no results, and you know it's finally time to align your spirit with your body so you can get disciplined, get shredded, and live your life with real purpose, then click the link in the description and book a call with me, and we'll see if we're a good fit to work together one-on-one to build that structure, the faith-driven system, transform your physique and your life, optimize your gut health, metabolism, and get you on the path to live out that full potential that God has given you. So if you want that, hit the link in the description, and I'll talk to you soon. Hope this was helpful. Love you.